Just extremely grateful for this group of young women we have. They're just amazing. You know, everybody at the beginning of the year kept saying, oh, you know, Iowa lost so much. They lost all this offense and 2 starters, and everybody kept focusing on that, and we kept focusing on what we had.
And
well, there's not a whole lot of strategy. You got to guard her. Nobody else seems to be able to guard her. We didn't even guard her last year when we beat them.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. To our new viewers, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. So Iowa are going back to the Final Four. They took down LSU with a 94-87 win in the Elite Eight. Caitlin Clark finished with 41 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists in yet another incredible performance on the big stage. Her 9 3-pointers tied a record for an NCAA tournament game, and in the process she passed Diana Taurasi for the most threes ever in the NCAA tournament. It was all Iowa early in the game as they pushed the pace and knocked down 3-pointers from all over the court. LSU had a quick response though, as Agel Reese led a 10-point run at the end of the first quarter to put her team ahead at the end of that first quarter. Reese then tweaked her ankle in the second quarter, which proved to be a turning point. Iowa evened things up going into the break, then surged in front in the third quarter thanks to a series of deep triples by Caitlin Clark. So now let's listen to them talk about it. Share your take on the game. For more sports content, please like the video. Our target is only 1,000 likes.
Just extremely grateful for this group of young women we have. They're just amazing. You know, everybody at the beginning of the year kept saying, oh, you know, Iowa lost so much. They lost all this offense and 2 starters, and everybody kept focusing on that, and we kept focusing on what we had. And even when we had an injury with Molly Davis going out of the lineup, you know, Sid just came in there seamlessly, and I'm really just proud of this group. They kept the focus all the time on us, and I'm really I couldn't be more happy for such a great group of young women than this. So
we'll open it up for lots of questions for the coach. Start right here, front row. To you.
So, Michael Oss, Cedar Rapids Gazette. Lisa, if you would, describe what your defensive strategy was coming into this game and how the players executed it.
Actually, we thought we would be playing a whole lot more zone than we did. We started out in zone. It was good for the first couple of minutes. They had to call a timeout. And then we tried trapping in our zone. And that really wasn't working. And after that, we went to our player-to-player defense, and I was so impressed with how hard our players worked in there, especially in the paint. It was, you know, they're a hard group to defend in the paint when you have both Agel and Morrow in there. It's a lot to guard in the paint.
Go ahead. Go ahead over here.
Sam Ohaj with WVFI Quail. The third quarter, you guys were able to pull away. What defensive adjustments were made in the locker room at half that led to the great defensive showing we saw in the third quarter?
You know, there wasn't a lot of adjustments that we made. We just talked about how we needed to box out, and we didn't really do that, as you can tell here. But it's ironic, they had 23 rebounds and only 14 second chance points. That's a really low number for 23. But a lot of it was kind of like, you know, just kind of bouncing it off the backboard a couple times to yourself almost. You know, I think when we came out, the game's tied, we come out, Caitlin hits that deep 3, and it just gave us a lot of momentum. It just, you know, and then we get a stop and then another score, and all of a sudden, you know, they have to call timeout after 2 minutes again. I just think we started the game and we started the third quarter with a punch, and that really helped us a lot, gave us a lot of confidence on the defensive end.
Hey, Coach, Doug Feinberg, the AP. I asked you the other day if there are any more wow moments left from Caitlin, and then she drops 41 and 12 today, and again, the regional final, I think she did 41 last year also. Can you put in perspective what she did tonight for you guys to get you back to the Final Four?
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin, I feel like I've talked about her, like used every word imaginable to describe her. But I thought what she said today about her maturity has just grown so much over 4 years. I really saw that tonight. I mean, it could have been a highly emotional game. It could have been a lot of talking going on out there, just from what happened at the end of last year. And honestly, she put it aside. She put everything aside. And so I think her maturity, her communication with her teammates was really good tonight. I mean, she was in the huddle really building others up, which I love when she does that because it means so much coming from her rather than me. But I mean, her her distance shots were amazing tonight. Her logo threes were incredible. You know, I mean, how do you defend that, right? It's like, it is nearly impossible. And so that obviously gave us some great momentum.
Lisa Howard, my adult, the Nets, congratulations. Two things, if I could. The first on Caitlin, she mentioned ball screens being a critical part of this, and you talked about we're going to find ways of getting her to the basket, which is not a thing against LSU that she did, but she did right away here tonight. How much of that is a schematic change? How much of that is just even her maturing and getting that much better again to the rim?
Yeah, I was really happy in the first quarter. She got to the rim quite a bit and came off ball screens, and we really encouraged her to do that because we didn't want her to start out with the logo threes. We thought she could get to the rim, and we wanted the higher percentage shots to begin with. And so I'm pretty happy that she did that. And then I'm telling you, third quarter though, she came out with a different look in her eye, and I could tell her all I wanted to that time to get to the rim, and it wasn't going to happen. So,
Right here.
Lisa, M. Adler from the Next. You know, between this game, the West Virginia game a couple of rounds ago, your team has had to really be incredibly physical and play sort of like above your height, especially in the paint defense. Has that been for you a big sort of learning point and growth from last year?
You know, we've had to play that way all year. I mean, Addie O'Grady went in and played some good minutes tonight for us. She had 15 minutes, I think. She did a nice job in there when Hannah got into some foul trouble, but we've been undersized all year, and it's just the way it is. You can't do anything about it, and so don't gripe about it, right? Just go out there and play and use what you do have. Do you have speed? Do you have agility? Do you have hops? Use those things instead of focusing on, I wish I was 4 inches taller.
For the coach. Start here, second row.
Hi, Coach. Two quick questions. First, it seemed like...
Where are you from?
Sorry.
Yes, identify, name, and affiliation.
Sorry, M. Adler from the Next. Two quick questions. Just what went into the strategy in terms of how you wanted to defend Caitlin Clark? And then also just wondering, it seemed like you had a long embrace and some kind words for after the game in the handshake line. Just wondering if you wanted to share what those were.
Well, there's not a whole lot of strategy. You got to guard her. Nobody else seems to be able to guard her. We didn't even guard her last year when we beat them. She's just a generational player, and she just makes everybody around her better. That's what the great ones do. I think they had a kid that scored 21 and 18. She had 12 assists. Caitlin Clark's not going to beat you by herself. It's what she does to make those other teammates better that helps her score points and them score points to beat you. What did I say to her? I said, I sure am glad you leaving. I said, girl, you something else. Never seen anything like it.
Right here and then up here.
Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV. Were you surprised at all at the pace of that first quarter?
Yes, in talking to my team, we played to their pace. And we ended the first quarter with the lead. But
back first.
I think their pace dictated that third quarter. I think it really hit us in the third quarter, that pace.
Yep. Kim, Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. How hobbled or how limited was Agel, and can you talk about the performance that she had despite that injury?
I didn't ask anybody, how bad the sprain is, and honestly, I'm assuming it's the same ankle that she sprained in the SEC tournament. But you're in the heat of the moment. She's playing. Trainer never came to see me to give me any details, so I don't know that Agel or I, either one, would ever make an excuse that her being hobbled was why we lost the game.
Dan Zakrzewski, Outkick.com. Coach, your team wasn't on the floor during the national anthem. First part, was that a conscious decision on your part? Second, can you say what the team was doing during that time?
Honestly, I don't even know when the anthem was played. We kind of have a routine where we are on the floor, and then they come off at the 12-minute mark.
That's when
I don't know, when we come in and we do our pregame stuff. I'm sorry, listen, that's nothing intentionally done.
Jacques Duse, WAP-TV in Baton Rouge. Coach, your players had some very passionate and animated comments just now about Angel and treatment and criticism and whatnot. Just your thoughts of what you just listened to.
I'm going to assume something here now. I'm going to assume they're talking about social media attacks, and I don't see all that. I don't do social media. I thought it was heartwarming. I thought it was touching. They are young people that are on social media, and that is their teammate. And it sounded like to me they've been wanting to get that off their chest. So I just listened like you guys did.
Reed Darcy with the Advocate in Baton Rouge. Coach, when you look back at this season, what do you think you're going to remember and feel the most?
Proud. I'm going to feel very proud. I'm going to think of the little things that we overcame that put us in an Elite Eight. You're one game away from going back to the Final Four. And I'm going to eventually think of, how did we get here? How did we get here? What did we do as a team and as a staff to get to this moment? So basically, I guess what I'm telling you is you learn. You learn. I learn every day as a coach. I look at this stat sheet and I just put a lot of little notes down there, and I'll file it away and think about it when the emotion of a loss goes away. We shot the ball, y'all, almost 20 times more than they did. So that's the pace I'm talking about. And then you look at that second, and especially the third quarter, where we just missed shots. You'll dissect things like that, and yeah. I could probably tell you a bunch of things. You'll dissect X's and O's, Y's, reverse the ball, just a little bit tougher in the moment, depth. I mean, you could just sit and talk all day about the game. Only one team finishes the season happy, and boy, we got to do that last year. And somebody will get to do it this year. But everybody else is going to come up here and be sad. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being sad. If you're not sad, that means you didn't invest much. So those tears are tears of investment.